All right, this is End Time Events number 19 here, and more about the beast government and hiding from the beast. There's During this 3.5 year period, it's going to be really difficult. There's a lot of scripture passages that talk about this. I'm going to read you a few of them here. Isaiah 16:3 says, "Take counsel, execute judgment, make thy shadow as the night in the midst of the noonday. Hide the outcast, bewray not him that wandereth. Let my outcast dwell with thee, Moab. Be thou a covert to them from the face of the spoiler, for the extortioner is at end, the spoiler ceaseth, and the oppressors are consumed out of the land." So there are interesting points here about this, that the outcasts are those that are his saints at that time. And he says here to hide them and don't bewray them. Well, this is pretty interesting. Hide the outcasts that dwell with thee, or let my outcast dwell with thee. So these outcasts around the world are going to have to hide. Obadiah 1:12 says, "But thou should not have looked on thy brother in the day that he became a stranger, neither should you have rejoiced over the children of Yehuda, in the day of their destruction, neither should you have spoken proudly in the day of distress. You should not have entered into the gate of my people in the day of their calamity. Yea, you should not have looked on their affliction in the day of their calamity, nor have laid hands on their substance in the day of their calamity. Neither should you have stood in the crossway to cut off those that did escape, and you have delivered up those of his that did remain until the day of distress." So this is a very interesting passage too about not cutting off the people that escape out. And it talks about our distress that's coming. Isaiah 26:20 says, "Come, my people, enter you into the chambers, shut the door about you, hide yourself, as it were, for a little moment, until the indignation be overpast." So during this 3.5 years of indignation, I think you're going to need to hide yourself. Not he hide you, you got to hide yourself. And Isaiah 26:21, "For behold, Yahuwah comes out of his place to punish the inhabitants of the earth for their iniquity, and the earth also shall disclose her blood, and shall no more cover her slain. Keep me as the apple of thy eye." Oh, this is Psalm 17:8. "Keep me as the apple of thy eye, hide me under the shadow of thy wings." And that's a very appropriate at this time. Hide me under the shadow of thy wings. Isaiah 54:7 says, "For a small moment have I forsaken thee, but with great mercies will I gather thee. In a little wrath I hid my face from thee for a moment, but with everlasting kindness will I have mercy on thee, saith Yahuwah thy Redeemer." So we can expect this. There's going to be a little moment, I think 3.5 years, where he's going to hide his face. And it's going to be bad. And Ezekiel says, "Therefore say, Thus saith Yahuwah God, although I have cast them far off among the heathen, and although I have scattered them among the countries, yet will I be to them as a little sanctuary in the countries where they shall come. Therefore, says Yahuwah God, I will even gather you up from the people, and assemble you out of the countries where you have been scattered, and I will give you the land of Israel." Now, isn't that beautiful? He tells you what's going to happen at the end of this 3.5 year period. This is really wonderful to know what's going to happen at the end of it, because I suspect during the midst of this it's going to get a little dicey. Well, here's some tips on hiding from the beast, because they track all this stuff now. Now, if you're using your cell phone or a friend's cell phone to call mom and dad and friends and family and say, "I'm all right, everything's going good," well, they know when you call, they record every conversation, and they know the GPS coordinates of your phone, and this is how they drone bomb people over there all the time. And they'll have these drones flying around all the time. They can stay up there for 6 days at a time without refueling, way up there where you can't see them. So if you use your cell phone or anyone else's cell phone, it's going to equal a drone bomb on your lap. The next one, your web connection, laptop, iPod, iPhone, all that. You've got to turn all that off. All your laptops, these laptops, they got to be cut off. No more iPods that automatically sync up to the internet whenever you walk by a free Wi-Fi. No, you don't want that. Throw those things out of your pocket and get rid of that. Because anytime you pop up on the radar, some guy can hit a button from Command Central and you get a drone bomb on your lap. Uh, no emails, Facebook from friends' computers. They track you. If your friends are updating Facebook with your photos, obviously they're going to know who your friends are and they're going to track you down and get you that way. If you do email from anywhere and that kind of thing, well, that'll equal a drone bomb on your lap. No credit cards, no beast money. You're not going to be able to use this beast money anyway after it starts, and you can't use credit cards. And they'll find you and trample you down, or the Son of Man will burn you if you are using that beast money. Remember, he promises to take you out if you use their mark and their beast money. No bills, no receipts, no warranties. Pay cash while it still works. That's all self-evident. You have to be paying cash. Don't have any bills in your name. You can't have any bills, so you either have to go. You have to get to a situation where you don't have any bills. You don't have any bills to pay. No electric, water, stuff like that. Or someone else pays it, and you're living out back, and nobody knows it. But that's kind of dicey and dangerous. No receipts, no warranties. This is obvious and self-evident, but it's amazing how people ask you from a store, what's your address or what's your phone number, and people will give it to them. You can't do any of that. We got to have your name and address for the warranty on this thing you bought. No, you don't. No, you don't. So you don't want to do any of that. They'll use all that to track you down to where you're at. You bought some appliance, and next thing you know, they know where you're at just because of the warranty card you sent in or they sent in. No GPS. No GPS for your car. No smart appliances. No smart cars and all that stuff. Smart appliances. A lot of new appliances now, dishwashers and that, communicate to any Wi-Fi signal and send information back to the government. So yeah, your dishwasher or your clothes washer might be spying on you and collecting up, sound and recording conversations and sending back GPS coordinates of where it's at and all that kind of stuff. And you don't want that. They'll be able to track you. No GPS, global positioning satellite shows you where you are all the time. And most cars now also do this. They communicate with Wi-Fi to the internet off of their computer that's in the car. You don't even know it, and it's talking to the government. All these equal drone bomb in your lap. No communication with family or friends except by pen and paper and mail. Be careful where you send it from and what you say. Well, that sounds self-evident. People wouldn't do that, but yeah, you need to go all the way back to pen and paper, and then read it like 3 times before check for any information that you wouldn't want the government to read, which would lead them to you. This is all going to be real serious business, and the time to start is before the beast government shows up. The time to start getting real private is now. No street traffic cameras, facial recognition, all that. They have those cameras now that they can recognize your face, bounce it off the huge computer systems they have, and in a minute they can tell who it is walking down the street, and they have your coordinates. So yeah, you want to avoid those street cameras and traffic cameras. It's really time to go off the grid and live like the Amish. Of course, you're not going to be able to do any air travel because you got to have credit cards to do all that. And you're going to be limited in your land travel. Usually they have police and stuff around, and you got to get all sorts of tags and things for your car, and you got to give them all your numbers. I suspect it's going to get real tough, and a lot of preparation is required in advance to prepare for this. If you don't make preparations in advance, if you don't prepare yourself a place and begin disconnecting ahead of time, it's going to be real tough later. And there's going to be a lot of people that don't prepare that are probably going to turn to Yahuwah, and you're going to want to try to help them out. So keep that in the back of your mind. You probably want to prepare for more than just yourself. You probably have some family members and friends and loved ones that might show up. Now, you want to be real careful about who you accept in. You want to kind of triage the situation, because if they're not really keeping all these laws, they're likely to betray you. And it says, father shall betray son, mother shall betray daughter, and a man's enemies will be of his own household. So that's what's coming. They're going to betray you to the local government. The local government's going to be out to get you anyway because you're keeping these commandments. And they're going to want to kill you. Well, also people are going to be starving to death, and they do some pretty crazy things when they start starving. There's going to be famine. Well, that's my tips on hiding from them. put these down so that I can remind myself as well. It's tough to cut off from this technologically advanced society nowadays, but it won't be after after all this starts. It won't be tough later. You'll be darn glad you did. Well, hallelujah. Till next time.